How do we deal with like respond to sexual harassment without getting murdered?
You want to say something, Avery?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say like women can't exist online. It's just what I've learned this past year.
I know, can't speak for all women, but when we started wearing masks, like I worked at Aldi, and I noticed I kind of loved wearing masks because I didn't have to smile at men.
Okay.
And I still got.
You agree with that, Avery?
Oh, I do, absolutely.
Yeah. Just not having to like put on this like happy face all the time, because no matter what, as a woman, someone's gonna say something to you.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to approach it. But just that was very freeing for me of not feeling like I have to hear the like, can you smile for me, sweetheart? And I stopped walking to places because this man in a truck at a red light rolled down his window to say things I will not repeat on here.
Sure.
With his young son in the car. And I realized like he's teaching him that, that it's okay. I think women in general, like, how do we deal with like respond to sexual harassment without getting murdered?
You want to say something, Avery?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say like women can't exist online. It's just what I've learned this past year. That was something I dealt with a lot last year, is like I'd never experienced so much like negative attention. And the only thing that like stopped it, like I was receiving a lot of attention online, mostly from like customers or people in like the Kava community. So at a point, like I did like learn more boundaries, but at first it was a huge struggle because I was like, these are people who like come to the bar and I don't feel like I could be rude to them because they are customers.
Right.
And even like if I do ignore the comments, like they continue. And that's the thing too, is like if you just ignore it, like it doesn't stop. The only thing that really like stopped a lot of it was I had to start posting my friend, and he started like posing as my boyfriend online, and that's the only thing that like stopped that negative attention.
I have noticed though that when I released my book, I have an Instagram and I do have a boyfriend. We've been together for like 4 years, and he is on my like personal Instagram. I just never posted on my author one because it's mostly focused on like book stuff. But I kind of also was like, maybe I should put Cameron on there. I feel like people feel entitled that, oh, you're putting yourself out there, so you're one like asking for it in a way. You want this attention. When a man or someone I have to just assume is a man, I see in my DM request and I open it and they say, I was imagining you on that table, or I was imagining you in those woods. It's terrifying. It's kind of like, on one hand, I think about it and I immediately flip to, well, this is what I get for putting my face online, for posting online.
You feel like you did something to warrant it.
Yeah, nothing can warrant people finding the need to reach out to you online and saying that they imagine your dead body on an autopsy table.
Right.
And that's something I've learned, like, it's not my fault.
What would you say to anybody that's kind of holding back a little bit, you know, and have insecurities, internal ones, but also maybe external ones, telling them like, you can't do that? And then, you know, just a piece of advice.
I would say stage names are cool because it's kind of like you have this alter ego where you're kind of channeling through it. So it's like almost a form of detachment where you feel more emboldened to do something. Maybe not the healthiest thing, but I recommend it. And also kind of thinking about, this might sound a little morbid, but like we're all on like this giant spinning rock controlled by like bald men with like anger issues on Twitter. Like, what does it matter? Like if you could just have like, you know, the whole thing about like the audacity of a mediocre white man, like why not? Like,
wow,
you know, everything's so ridiculous. We might as well. Like, that's my whole thing.
Okay. I like it.
You know, I went through a phase where I was watching a lot of Dolly Parton interviews, and the one thing I noticed that she's consistently said is, it's not that I'm better than anyone else at what I do, it's that I believe in myself. And I've noticed, like with a lot of successful people, they didn't know if they were going to be successful, but they believed that they could be, and that's where they got to where they are now. So I try to remember that, whatever I'm doing.
I love that. I love that. The message that I get, which I thank you both for the answers you gave, because it's encouraging to me personally to take risks, and that, you know, sometimes we're waiting for an opportunity to come and we have to make it for ourselves. Our focus with this show is to highlight local talent, emergent, you know, artists that have had an opportunity to showcase their talent, such as in Orlando Fringe, and to give them an opportunity to share about that and encourage other people to do the same. And one more thing to close, let's talk about any future projects that you want to plug. And you can feel free to look at the camera and tell people. And by the way, this doesn't end the conversation. Whenever we have guests or people that we know that are doing projects, like, we want to highlight that. So it'll be something we can share in our stories and on our Instagram. So anything that you're excited about that's coming up?
I'm doing two things. So number one, I started crocheting as like a way to relieve like stress and stuff. But now I've been getting a lot of people approaching me in public to be like, can I buy your purse? And I'm like, I mean, I would, but this is like my bag, and then I don't have it. Yeah, and I'm like, girl, what? So that I decided, because Avery invited me to the summer market and I had such a good reception there, I am working on launching my own crochet business. I'm gonna have an Instagram at some point. I'm trying to come up with a name that's I was gonna do Crochet You Stay, because I thought that was funny.
I love that.
But it's taken. Thank you. Yes, and I was heartbroken because I was set on it. So trying to come up with a name, and then I am working on another book. At the time, I will just say the title is Lolita Kills.
I've written some little short art films. I haven't gotten around to filming them yet. I want to at some point. I have photo shoot ideas I want to do again.
Well, whenever you find out, let us know. We'd love to share it.
Hey, thank you for listening to the Lex and Tony Show.
I can't wait to see what Avery and Zero the Writer are going to do in the next few years. They are amazing people.
I love, and their future plans sound like fun. I'm going to be there for sure in the audience, watching.
Yeah, we got to show up. Like we said last week, we got to support our local artists because they rely. Oh, he's wearing the Fringe Orlando
My Fringe shirt.
Yeah, they rely on our support. They're putting themselves out there. They're being vulnerable about their art. And Avery and Zero were doing that in our conversation. Our thanks for being so open and vulnerable and sharing their personal stories.
Particularly some of the work that we talked about in this interview was very personal.
We'll be continuing to have conversations like this with interesting people who are doing amazing things, people like you and me, and encouraging us to do the same. So if you'd like to hear more of these stories, subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Follow us on Instagram at The Lex Tony Show.
Thank you for listening to The Lex and Tony Show.